Key guidance or legislation that drive the hub. For example, the social work staff still have to adhere to the 24 hours of working together. The legislation still applies of Children Act 1989, so the Section 1747 remit, or even the Children Act 2004, so Section 10 and 11. Section 10 and 11 in particular is what the hub actually works within, because it's about having that, it's the safeguarding responsibilities of every partner within that hub, and also virtual partners, but more specifically it gives you a permissive gateway of information sharing, which obviously then ties in with the information sharing agreement and all the other key legislation that needs to be adhered to, such as the Data Protection Act, but also the Human Rights Act. You have the UN Convention of the Child, for example, and then based on government reviews that was done, so Professor Eileen Monroe in 2011, in her findings, have seen the Devon MASH, for example, so she commented on that. So those are the key things I would consider that actually everyone in the MASH really respond to, and how they know this is the barrier or the scope that they work within. Most professionals, I think, working with children, particular health, for example, know about data protection and human rights. Article 8 more or less reply to any professional working with families, so the right to family life, for example. Police are more familiar with Article 2, which is that immediate danger, like, intervening. So if there is risk to death or life, if you like. So and also data protection, to be honest, because most areas and working with children will cover data protection and what can be shared and cannot be shared. Other things like working together, I suppose. Not every single police officer will be familiar with working together and the guidelines that came with that, and also not the UN Convention of the Child, because if it's not your world, you don't know about it. However, taking that into consideration as part of the project and all these discussions with our senior leads, we did key training sessions for the multi-agency safeguarding hub before they started, and also early help staff. So we took it from children's centres to early off-of help staff, to the MASH staff, to troubled family staff, and all the 4 of those sections basically had really crucial training, I would say, in relation to what the processes are, what the legislation are that governs the MASH, if you like, but also what are the things they need to consider in relation to consent, what are the things they need to consider in relation to sharing necessary, relevant and proportionate information.